I think that everyone who's got a child in school is going to see the impact of these cuts, because the number of new schools that will be built will be greatly reduced. The repair backlog will get much greater. You'll see dilapidated classrooms, you'll see more leaking roofs, you'll see much worse stock for schools. That's going to directly impact upon pupils and on their performance. I think you're going to see a demoralised workforce as teachers see their pay frozen and now attempts to take more money off them because of the cuts in terms of robbing them over their pensions. And I think you're going to see a lot of teachers leaving the profession, talented individuals who will either go off and find jobs elsewhere or will take early retirement. All those things are going to have a very negative impact upon the schooling that our children receive.
We know that schools are facing redundancies, they're facing shortages, they're not able to ensure that there are sufficient adult-pupil ratios within the classrooms, that they're short of resources. It's a massive difficulty, a massive problem. We've asked the Welsh Assembly Government to do whatever they can to ensure that schools are funded properly in Wales. We've had concerns with regard to our own members' pay scales, for example. They haven't had a proper pay increase for a number of years now, and we've been following a campaign with regard to that. Issues with regard to pensions, we know that the Westminster Government, for example, have indicated that they're going to cut pensions, which will mean that teachers will work longer, will pay more and will receive less at the end of the day. There's no justification for that at this moment in time. We believe the teachers' pension scheme is a healthy pension scheme. We believe that there are reports out there which will show that it is an affordable pension scheme, but the government is pressing ahead in any event. None of this is acceptable to us as a trade union. We want to ensure that our members' interests are protected. We want to ensure that the education provision for the children in Wales is protected. But we can't do that with the type of problems that are emanating from Westminster when they're just cutting the funding to Wales in general and to the schools as a result.
I think the cuts that Westminster are imposing are far too deep and they're far too fast. We need to grow the economy because we know that grows the tax base. We also need to keep people in employment. We've also got a plan for the future, and that's providing our youngsters with the best education they can get. What we're seeing now is very, very short term, and it's going to have a crippling effect on the British economy. We're going to see its impact in terms of the education that our children receive. This is just short term, it's very short-sighted. We need to think of other ways of reducing the deficit. We can look at things like the Robin Hood tax. We can look at closing tax loopholes. We need a much more efficient tax base. We need to make sure that companies pay the tax they should be paying. Those are far more just things to do. Those are things that will help the economy in the longer term. What we're seeing now from Westminster is just a cheap, crass attempt to balance the books very speedily without any thought of what the impact that's going to be over the next 10, 20 years. And especially on our children who are in school today, they will be the ones who will be paying the price of this for the rest of their lives. That's why these cuts are bad, that's why they're not thought through.